For integrating with the business skill, so here there is a option called endpoints. So if I go to the endpoints, inside this endpoints, I can integrate my Alaska skill with my HTTP web server where it is hosted my API. Otherwise, I can use the Lambda function. Okay, so where I can define my business logic in AWS Lambda function and I can integrate it. So for that, I'm creating the Lambda function here. So now just go to the Lambda function. So inside that, go to services. Just type Lambda. Okay. First of all, just understand this. Okay, what is this Lambda function? Okay, AWS Lambda function is a compute service that lets you to run a code without provisioning or managing the servers. AWS Lambda executes your code only when required, so it will not run it always, and it will scale it only automatically when it is required, as per the request. And it can be invoked per day once or maybe millions of times per second. So this AWS Lambda is an ideal compute platform for many applications and many scenarios, and that can provide. We can write a code on any language by using any language. Currently, AWS Lambda function which supports .NET, Go language, Node.js, and Python, Ruby, and custom runtime also we can define it. So now I'm using Python language for creating the Lambda function here. Create a Lambda function. So here, again, same as Alexa skill, we can use the blueprints and we can also use the existing some templates and we can customize it as per our requirement. Otherwise, we can write a skill from the scratch. So I'm writing the skill from the scratch. Okay, select this option and I'm defining the skill name is, we can define any name here. So, and I'm using it as a personal assistance. Okay, and which technology you want to write your Lambda function. So here I can define it as any language I can select it. So I'm writing a Lambda function using Python 3.6. Okay, and coming to the permissions, if you are writing a Lambda function first time, okay, it will prompt you to create a Lambda permissions here. So either you can use create a new role or create a new role, you can select it. So I already created a one role, so that's why I'm actually using it as use existing. But in your case, so you can see only one option, create a new role, and you can click on this. So it will prompt you to enter the role. You just enter the role name and then grant the permission. Then next time onwards, you can use the existing role. I'm using the existing role here. I created a role called Alexa. So now you can click on create a Lambda function. Now my Lambda function creation is completed. Now next is I have to write a business logic under that. Okay. So for doing that, so if you see this, so here my runtime is defined with the basic Lambda handler. So whenever if I place any request on my Alexa, so first of all that Alexa will automatically come here this section. So here enter request will handle. So this return type is not sufficient. If you try to test it, so it should always throw the exception. So now I will write a business logic here. So I'm actually sending hello world when you place the request. So in your function, which is actually taking the event and as well as a context. Inside an event, all the information, all the input information we can capture. And the context, this context is useful at the time of handling the series of questions and the follow-up questions. Okay, so now I'm removing this section. I don't require this section. And here I'm actually writing if event, this event contain all the your request data. Okay, so I got the request data and my request type is, so there are various types. One is a launching invite and one is for invoking the invite. For example, if I say Alexa open my personal assistance, open my personal dashboard. So in this case, this is the launch instance. Okay, first of all, it is actually calling for only for the launching time. At the time of launching, do you want to display something? Do you want to actually return something? So, and at the time of stopping the intent, at the time of fallback in the intent. So this we already discussed here. If you say this, at the time of canceling the intent, help the intent, stop the intent, and fallback intent. Okay, there is another intent called the launching the instance. So for that, I'm using the launch request. Okay. So at the time of Alexa skill launching, so I want to return something like a hello world. Okay. So here I'm actually defining my title. So title I'm giving it as something like this is my demo title. Okay. And here I'm actually defining my speech. Okay. So here I can say welcome. Maybe I can say hello, welcome, greetings, welcome to Alexa skills. So this is the welcome to Alexa development. Welcome to Alexa application. Okay. So this is the sentence which I want to return to my Alexa device. So after that we can extend it and we can integrate with the REST API and we can integrate with any web servers or any other tools. So based on the requirement. So in next session, so we will talk about how to integrate Alexa application with your own server and by using APM. That part we will discuss it. So now if you see that. So here I have defined my speech here. So this is my speech. And the second one is error speech. So this will indicate that in case while handling your request, there may be some glitch on the network, there may be some issue, there may be some syntax error, there may be some bandwidth issue, whatever. So based on that, so I want to actually return the response. Okay. So for that, I can use like something like I don't know. I don't know if you heard me. Okay. So I can say welcome to. Can you say, or maybe I can say, can you reply to my answer? So, for example, if I say Alexa, open my personal dashboard, so then it will say that, okay, hello Prabhakar, greetings, welcome to Alexa application. So, and on top of that, I can say, how may I help you today? So if I'm not responding for this sentence, so then it will wait for 5 seconds, and after 5 seconds, it will respond to, I don't know if you heard me, and can you reply to my answer? Okay. So, and this is done. And the next one is this much only we have to define. And the next one is a very important part is we have to define the response JSON structure. So if the response JSON structure is not defined properly, then it should throw the exception. So here I'm returning the response as per the required format. I'm defining it as version. So this version you can specify it anything. Okay. And here I'm defining it as session attributes. Okay, session attributes. So this session attributes is something like these are required. For example, I'm actually started conversation like I'm just giving example. If I say I want to book a ticket, so then it will prompt you that okay, so what is the journey date? So if I say January 1st, then how many passengers? So then in this case, if I ask another questions like what is the current weather? So it will answer your question like okay, current weather is so and so so and so. And then again, if I ask another question like what is today's date? So it will say okay, today's date is December 15th. So then again, if I answer like, okay, I'm planning to go to Goa. So in this case, so it will maintain your session with the previous context, and based on the context, it will continue that. Okay, it will not again prompt you that. Okay, so what do you mean by Goa? And then when you want to go to Goa, what is that mode of the travel? It will not ask such a questions. Okay, so here so for that timing, I'm actually specifying it as a blank because I'm not going to maintain any context here. Okay, any context on any sessions here. And this is the very important part here is defining the response here. Okay, so here you define the response and for the given format. Okay, so this response I can specify it in this format. Okay, so if I go here. So here I can say a response. This response I can define it in this format. Okay, the first one is output speech. Okay, and this output speech is under that. So type of the speech is and I'm returning. Okay, so I don't want to use actually double quotes here. So sometimes if you throw the exception, so it is always recommended to use inside a JSON single quote. So here I'm returning it as a plain text. Okay, so if I want to return as a binary, like as a music, I want to return. So I can use this binary format and I can return a JSON or binary based on my requirement. Currently, I'm returning the plain text here, and the next one is text. This text it will indicate whatever speech which I'm actually which is actually I'm sending out. So that is this is the speech. Okay, this speech I can specify it here. Okay. So now my output speech is defined, and the next one is I have to define the card. Okay, card in this is it will indicate that okay. So which card you are talking about on this? I have to define the card, and at the same time I have to define the read prompt. Okay, this read prompt it will indicate that okay in case if I'm not responding to Alexa okay within a stipulated time, so then then Alexa will prompt you this error this message. Okay. So I define the card. Inside a card, I find the same properties. So I'm using the type and the type and followed by so I can this type I can specify any type. For example, okay, this is the my sample simple. And what is the title for that? So this title I can use it for something like maybe speech or maybe session speech speechlet, and then after that so I can specify the title. This is optional, so you can use the any title here. Okay, that is not a mandatory. Always use the same variable names. Content, session, speech, let again the speech. Whatever the speech which I'm actually giving, this is the speech which I have defined it here. Okay. So and reprompt. This is the only one part is remaining. So what I can do, so I can just copy this entire sub-JSON and paste it here. Okay. So after doing that, okay, output speech and type equal to plain text, and instead of using this speech, I can use the error speech. So this is for the reprompt. If in case if the user is not responding to Alexa, so in this case, I want to prompt this message. I want to play this sound. Okay. Now my response is defined, and inside that I have output speech. So I want to play this speech at the time of Alexa invoking, and some property for that. And if I'm not responding to Alexa, so I want to reprompt by using this text. And so, do I want to continue the context continuously, or do I want to actually break the context on each and every time? Okay, so this sentence, this session, so I can define that. Okay, like something like should end session, and so here I can specify that the false. Okay, it will indicate that okay, I don't want to continue the session each and every time, or I want to continue the session continuously. So this kind of context I can define that. So it will indicate that okay, so this will not end the session. Okay, this will keep wait for my output, my input, and if my input is not coming, then again it will prompt this information. And if I'm not responding to my Alexa, then in this case my session will get set to the true automatically. Okay, so after defining all these parameters, okay, so this response I'm actually using it under this section. Okay, now my Lambda function development is completed, and apart from that, okay, so for Python, okay, there are plenty of versions are there. There is a lot of version compatibility issues. Sometimes we notice that. So for avoiding that, what we can use for the print statement, we can use the feature, and this is the package which I'm actually using inside that print function. Okay, so after defining that, now you save this. So after saving this, so I have successfully saved my Lambda function. After saving this, I can find the ARN number. Okay, for integration purpose, if you go to the AWS Lambda function, so here I have to specify the ARN function here, and I have to integrate my skill with my Lambda function. Okay, that is a bidirectional, I think. Okay, so I will tell you that how this integration will happen. Okay, the first one is what we have done. We have created Alexa skill. Next one is, so we created a Lambda function. Okay, then after that, for the integration purpose, what we have done, the first one is inside Alexa skill. So define ARN number. Okay, this is the one. First point is step one. And step two is to copy Alexa skill ID and paste it on Lambda function. Okay, so for the integration, which I'm actually following inside Alexa skill, I define an ARN number. Okay, so if I go to the Lambda function, here is my ARN number. So I'm copying this ARN number, copy this, and then paste here. Okay, so now save the endpoint. Okay, it is failing because I have to actually follow the second step also. Copy the LSS skill ID from the LSS skill, copy this ID and go here. And from this section, I have to actually specify the my Alexa skill ID. For specifying the Alexa skill ID, so I have to actually use the Alexa skill toolkit for integrating my Lambda function with Alexa. For doing that, click on the add trigger, and inside this trigger, you just type the Alexa. Okay, so if you find that Alexa skill toolkit, so you can use this one and then you can integrate it. So please make a one note. Sometimes for specific few of the regions like in Virginia and then Asia Pacific and then EU, okay, so some of the versions, okay, this Alexa skill kit is not available. So always try to use the Virginia or any other region, okay, where Alexa skill kit is available. Okay, so now go to Alexa skill kit, click on Alexa skill kit, and inside the skill kit, okay, what is the skill ID? Okay, if I go to my Alexa and here is my skill ID, just copy the skill ID, paste the skill ID here, and now submit it. Now, my Alexa skill kit inside that Alexa skills kit, so it is already registered and it is already saved and it is on my ARM number. So now if I go here and the ARM number, even if I save this, okay, so now it is actually saved successfully. So after saving this successfully, okay, so now skill is development is completed and integration is completed. But on top of that, we have to build it. For building that, you just go to invocation. Okay. So earlier what happened? So if I'm in the endpoint, okay, I can see only two buttons. One is save endpoints and view models. But if I click on the invocation, so I can see one more option called the builder model. So if I click on the builder model, click on the build model, so it will take a couple of seconds to 1 or 2 minutes for building the model. If once your model is ready, then you can go to your test window for testing your Alexa skill. Okay, just wait for a couple of seconds. My build is successful, and now go to your test. If I go to the test, inside this test, okay, now once you are in a test, okay, there is an option called test is disabled for this skill. Okay, you go here and then click on the development. So now your skill is enabled for testing that. Okay, you can notice that, okay, one of the option called English India. Okay, this is the English India which is already enabled while creating the skill. Okay, so do not change this English skill. So once your build is ready and then once integration is ready, okay, always try to use the same language. If you modify something, so again you have to do the rebuild, okay, from scratch. Okay, here what I can do, I say start personal assistance. Okay, so this is the response we can get it from the system. At the same time, inside your Lambda function, there is a default cloud watchdog. So this will indicate that whatever actions you are performing, whatever the request and responses you are performing, and okay, so these all are actually logged inside your CloudWatch. Go to services, go to CloudWatch. So inside a CloudWatch, if you go to the left side window, under the logs, click on the logs. Okay, so for my personal assistance, actually, so there is a log. If I click on this person, here is my log. So you can see this. Okay, as of now, I don't have any errors. So that's why. So it is working perfectly. So if I generate any errors, like let me put some syntax errors, so that how this Lambda function and CloudWatch will work, and then inside a CloudWatch how these error messages will be logged. Okay, if I go to the personal assistance, so here, for example, what I'm doing, maybe instead of response, here I'm actually typing some variable. Okay, this is something like a dummy var. So this is the variable which I'm using. Okay, so and if I place the request again, so like start personal assistance, it will throw the exception. Okay, there is an exception. So we don't know that what is this exception. For testing that exception, you can go to CloudWatch again. Go to CloudWatch. Click on the logs and click on the personal assistance, and this is your log. Just refresh this log. So here and then refresh the your CloudWatch. Personal assistance. Yeah, so there are two logs. Okay, this is the latest one. So inside this, if you find that okay, name dummy var is not defined. Okay, this kind of error we can get it at the time of if there is any errors, and then while debugging, so we can easily debug it. So now again I'm going back, and then I'm restoring with the original changes, and now save the changes. And if I go here and then if I paste the same request, okay, so this kind of response we can get it from the Alexa. So if you integrate the same thing with your physical device by registering your physical device with the same email ID which you are using while making the Alexa skill, so the same response you can get it from the your device also. Okay, so I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you all.